The PBA has officially reviewed the fight between Temple Arts and Chase DeMoor, and it has officially been decided that the fight will not be overturned. Temple Arts remains Misfits heavyweight champion. Real quick before I get my take on this, let's look at what both guys have to say. Temple Arts says, "Body shots won me the fight. That was the game plan and I did it. As I said before, if you saw 53 head punches, people would say different. People don't even count body punches in influencer boxing." I do agree with him to a certain extent. It does benefit you to headhunt a little bit, but it's not just in influencer boxing. This is also very similar in professional boxing where, it's just the shots to the head, they come off a little bit more damaging than the shots to the body. Even though the shots to the body might be more damaging, it's just the shots to the head is a little more eye-catching. Throughout one entire round, if I were to land 10 strikes, 10 clear, significant strikes to your head, the judges and everyone else would factor that in a lot more than if you were to land 10 clear shots to my body. This is just something in combat sports where it's a judge-by-judge basis. Some judges might not factor in body shots as much, whereas other judges might see body shots as something severely, severely dangerous, which is why we have a lot of backlash with, what these judges are scoring, how they're scoring, what they're looking at, and, what their experience is in judging. Like, this is why a lot of fighters say that other fighters and former boxers, former MMA fighters should be the one judging these fights because they understand how dangerous certain positions are and certain submissions are, or maybe certain punches are. They understand what it feels like to take a liver shot. Whereas you have a judge that may have never gotten punched in the liver ever in their life, so they might not really see as a body shot as that much damaging because they don't really understand the actual damage that something like that can do. But Chase DeMoor also released out a statement saying, just for clarification, they didn't provide scorecards. They simply stated there was no evidence of foul play or anything that could interfere with the judges or referee. Therefore, they could not overturn the decision. Going to take a couple days to myself. Sorry for the selfishness, but I'll be back. The people's champ. And you see, you guys, this is where I was telling you, these fights, they're not going to get overturned. Everyone in the entire world could think that Chase DeMoor won this fight. And I guarantee you, everyone in influencer boxing, I didn't see not one person say Temple Arts won that fight. But it doesn't matter. The Athletic Commission hired these people to judge this fight. So they're not going to really question them. They're going to trust what they saw. And at the end of the day, if they see like, okay, well, maybe this round could have gone to this person. That was a close round there. So maybe I could see them give it to that person. It's not going to matter. They're not going to overturn it. And this is why you see, fights in professional boxing also, they just never get overturned because they hired these guys. They're going to trust their decision. So now the question is, we got what? 5 other appeals? So now the question is, do you guys think any of the other ones will get overturned? Because like I said before, I don't think any of them will get overturned. And I say it now. I still stand firm on that statement. And this just further proves it because this probably was the biggest robbery on the card. This fight right here was probably the biggest one where the judges may have gotten wrong. Whereas all the other fights were a lot closer. So now you see, even though Chase DeMoor might have been seen by most people as the winner, you see it was still not overturned. So in a close fight where KSI and Tommy Fury was close, the tag team fight and the Astrid Wet one, no matter what, I just don't think any of them are going to get overturned because none of them were really that bad. Whereas also, like I stated, they said that there was no impeding of the judges and they couldn't really see. Whereas the fight that did happen to get overturned, the King Kenny and Face Temper fight, they had the excuse where the judges didn't really feel in a safe area. Everyone was on top of them. The security wasn't very good. They had a hard time actually focusing on the fight. So that was more of a viable excuse. But just like I said in the other video, you can't make that type of excuse on a promotion like DAZN. DAZN puts on huge events, way bigger than any influencer boxing event will ever be. So you can't make an excuse like that. And unfortunately, that's the only type of excuse that you can possibly make that will grant an overturning of a decision, because then that only shows all right, the judges weren't really watching. But if they were to overturn this, that kind of shows that, all right, you hired these judges, but they don't know what the hell they're looking at. So that looks bad on them. That doesn't look bad on the judges, but that also looks bad on the people who hired them. So like I said before, they are going to 100% trust their decision, which is why fights and big time robberies and all this stuff, they never get overturned. It sucks. I know it is very, very tough. Someone like Teddy Atlas, a legendary coach. If you guys don't know, Custom Model, Mike Tyson's coach, was his mentor. So Teddy Atlas is a legendary coach. He's been around the game for a very, very, very long time. And he doesn't agree with a lot of the judges say. And unfortunately, when he was on ESPN and all these other news stations, even him just calling those guys out were just making him lose his job. So, what's crazy is the people who keep it real, they can't even call these guys out because they'll lose their job. So it's very, very hard for people to really express how dangerous bad officiating is for these sports. But like I said, in professional sports, it is very dangerous, especially to those guys' careers, because one loss can change your entire career. We're talking millions upon millions of dollars, and these guys are fighting to be the best in the world. So one loss changes a lot, and it definitely sets you back a lot. Look at where Ryan Garcia is. That one loss set him back big time, and now he's got to, climb all the way back up again. But in influencer boxing, I just don't think it's that big of a deal. I don't think you necessarily have to be undefeated. I don't think you have to be this dominant champion in influencer boxing. I think you just need to be a good entertainer, put on good fights, entertain your fans, and it might be a minor setback, but it just makes the story even better if you were to make a major comeback. Welcome to boxing. Welcome to combat sports in general, because it happens in MMA too. It is what it is. It sucks, but this is just a part of the sport that we unfortunately have to deal with until they decide to change some things, which, if they haven't changed the things till now, because it's been worse, if they haven't changed them now, I don't see it happening anytime in the near future. But of course, you already know I want to see your opinions on this. Do you still think that maybe the KSI fight or the other fights still have hope of getting overturned now after you've seen this? As always, I thank you all so much for the support, and I'll catch you in the next video.